Former President Donald Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery on August 28, 2024. It was supposed to be a solemn occasion, a time to honor our fallen heroes. Instead, it became yet another Trump controversy. Why? Because Trump's team couldn't even follow basic rules. They filmed in a restricted area. No permission, no respect. This wasn't just a simple mistake. It was a blatant disregard for the law. Federal law prohibits unauthorized filming at Arlington. This law exists for a reason: to protect the sanctity of this sacred ground, to ensure that the focus remains on honoring the fallen. But Trump and his team didn't care. They thought the rules didn't apply to them. The images from that day are jarring. Trump laying flowers, a forced smile on his face. But behind the staged photo op, a darker truth lurks. The truth of a man who disrespects the very ground he walks on. The truth of a campaign that prioritizes self-promotion over honoring our veterans. This wasn't about paying respects. It was about getting the shot, about using Arlington as a backdrop for his political ambitions. And that's the real tragedy here. Trump turned a solemn occasion into a cheap publicity stunt. He desecrated a place of remembrance with his callous disregard for the rules. And for what? For a few likes on social media? For another headline in the news? Shameful. The details of Trump's Arlington visit are even more appalling than the initial report suggested. Trump's team didn't just film in a restricted area. They bulldozed their way through, disregarding any semblance of decorum. When a cemetery worker tried to intervene to uphold the law and protect the sanctity of the cemetery, they were met with aggression. Eyewitnesses reported that Trump's team physically pushed aside the cemetery worker. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate act of intimidation, a clear message that Trump and his enablers are above the law, that they will silence anyone who dares to question them. This incident is made even worse by the Trump campaign's response. Instead of taking responsibility, they doubled down. They accused the cemetery worker of lying, of having a mental health episode. This is classic Trump. Shifting blame, attacking the victim. It's disgusting. The cemetery worker, already shaken by the incident, declined to press charges. Can you blame them? Trump and his supporters have a history of intimidating and threatening anyone who dares to cross them. This is the environment they've created, one of fear and silence. The public outrage following Trump's Arlington debacle was swift and fierce. Veterans groups, politicians from both sides of the aisle, and ordinary citizens condemned his actions. Even some of Trump's usual allies were noticeably silent. The gravity of his disrespect was impossible to ignore. Social media erupted with condemnation. People shared their personal stories of loved ones laid to rest at Arlington. They spoke of the solemnity of the place, the deep sense of reverence that permeates the air. And they expressed their disgust at Trump's crass violation of that sacred space. The hashtag #disgrace at Arlington trended nationwide. News outlets ran story after story detailing the incident, the regulations violated, and the Trump campaign's shameful response. The consensus was clear. Trump had crossed a line. He had shown his true colors, and they were ugly. This wasn't just about politics anymore. It was about basic human decency. about respecting the sacrifices made by our veterans and their families, about upholding the sanctity of a place where heroes are laid to rest. Trump failed on all counts. Section 4. A pattern of disrespect. Echoes of past controversies. Unfortunately, Trump's behavior at Arlington is not an isolated incident. It's part of a larger pattern of disrespect towards the military and veterans. Remember when he mocked Senator John McCain's war record? Or when he referred to fallen soldiers as losers and suckers? These aren't just gaffes. They are windows into Trump's soul. Time and time again, Trump has shown contempt for those who serve our country. He sees them as pawns in his political games, tools to be used and discarded at his whim. He has no understanding of the sacrifices they make, the courage they display, the honor they embody. This latest incident at Arlington is simply the latest chapter in a long and shameful saga. It's a reminder that Trump is unfit to hold any position of power. He is a danger to our democracy, a threat to our values, and a stain on our national honor. Section 5. The sanctity of Arlington, a place for solemn remembrance. Arlington National Cemetery is more than just a burial ground. It's hallowed ground, a place where we honor the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. It's a place of quiet reflection, of somber remembrance, of profound gratitude. When you walk through those rows of pristine white headstones, you can't help but feel a sense of awe. Each headstone represents a life cut short, a family forever changed, a debt we can never fully repay. Arlington is a place where politics should be left at the gate, where we come together as Americans to pay our respects, to honor the fallen, to remember their sacrifice. It's a place of unity, not division, a place of reverence, not exploitation. Section 6. Politicizing sacrifice. A dishonor to our veterans. Trump's actions at Arlington are part of a disturbing trend. The politicization, of our military and veterans. Politicians from both sides of the aisle are guilty of this. They use veterans as props in their campaigns. They exploit their service for political gain. This is a disgrace. Our veterans deserve better. They deserve our respect, our gratitude, and our unwavering support. They don't deserve to be used as pawns in political games. When we politicize sacrifice, we diminish it. We turn something sacred into something cheap and tawdry, and we dishonor the very people we claim to honor. Section 7. A call for decency, honoring service above politics. It's time to reclaim the sanctity of our military and veterans, to honor their service with the dignity and respect they deserve, to stop using them as political props. We need to demand better from our leaders. We need to hold them accountable when they exploit veterans for political gain. And we need to reject the politics of division and hate that have poisoned our national discourse. Let's honor our veterans, not with empty words, but with meaningful action, by supporting organizations that serve them, by fighting for policies that improve their lives, by ensuring that they and their families have access to the care and resources they need. Let's make America a country that truly honors its veterans, a country where their service is respected. their sacrifices remembered, and their contributions never forgotten.